Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Happy Tuesday to you as well. We're taking a look here at Bitcoin, seeing what's going on. I want to start off with a thank you for a lot of my community members as well as subscribers for just the wonderful feedback I've been receiving here recently. Thank you so much for that. I'm very, very happy to have been able to help you, and obviously you help me too to be sure to be accountable and obviously make sure that we all learn and grow together. It's a really fun experience, so thank you so much for that. And again, if you are new to the channel, of course, make sure you take advantage of this exclusive offer, only available till the 31st of July. And just keep in mind, this is available for anyone who registers with my link. And the benefit is, of course, a $100 USDT bonus plus 50 if you deposit 50 and trade with 3,000. So it's pretty simple to achieve that. And the reason why I like to mention that is just based on the simple fact that KuCoin, Bybit, BitGet, they all require KYC, and a lot of our US and Canadian members are impacted, and there's no KYC or VPN required for that. Again, link down below if you want to check that out. What I want to talk about though today is, again, this is the elephant in the room, but just want to make sure we discuss the fair value gap, that we still have room for downside. Okay, so try not to get bought into the thought process that we're bottomed out yet, but once again, we're getting close, I feel. Once more, just to clarify, I feel like we're going to be in pretty good shape if the price comes down to the 28,000 range. If, again, keyword is if here, because of the simple fact that while we do have this fair value gap, we have a decent amount of support in this range here, and there's a lot of volume in this area. Okay, so again, if you kind of take a look at the volume profile, you can probably see that it's in much better shape. In fact, let's pull up a different chart so you can kind of identify that. You can kind of see right here in this range, we're looking pretty good with a lot of volume in this support range here. Okay, so right there at about starting out 27,800, you got a tremendous amount of volume, especially if you zoom out a little bit, you can see a lot more volume in this range right here. Okay, so again, just some things to kind of think about there. Is it foolproof 100%? No, of course not, but once again, the stronger likelihood of us being able to maintain that price point. Okay, so what we want to talk about is a few other factors here. We're going to look at some high block capital data first, actually, as a matter of fact, kind of identify a few things just so we can kind of see what's going on. But simply put here, let's go ahead and go with the daily first. We can see there was a tremendous amount of liquidations yesterday. Okay, so again, obviously, no surprise that longs got wrecked pretty hard with that price action coming down about 3 to 4% in literally 1 minute. So we had a 1 minute God candle that shot the price down. Hardly anyone could have expected that. Obviously, we were anticipating the price breaking down, but not that hard, not that fast. Again, you can't control that. Yes, I got liquidated on one of my Bitcoin long trades. It happens. Just so you know, it does happen to the best of us. And I'd recommend trusting those who are very clear and disclose those things too, because there's a lot of traders out there that'll show their mark price, not their actual open price on their trades. And just know there's a lot of false information out there, unfortunately. Regardless of that fact, I like to kind of share that with you because you need to know that the best traders take losses too. And that's okay. We just learn from our mistakes and continue on, right? I probably could have had a better stop loss in place, and there's a lot of other things you could look at, but generally speaking, that's effectively what we're looking at there. So let's take a quick look here at the longs. We can see there are more longs being opened than closed today. For obvious reasons, they didn't get liquidated yet, right? Emphasis on the word yet, because we don't truly know just yet, right? Key takeaway here is that more shorts are closing their positions than they are opening. So that's also a sign that there's a thought process at the bottom is tentatively in. We can see fear and greed index dropped, of course, big surprise. It makes sense the day after we have a significant decrease in value. And once more, longs obviously getting wrecked there from the shorts. So let's take a quick peek at open interest and kind of see what's going on with our long positions and see where we're at here. So we got a lot of longs hedged right at the level of about 29,100. That's a very close approximate, 29.13. So longs are in the green right now, and that's essentially very close to an entry that I have as well on my BingX account. If you follow me there, of course, you probably know that already, but generally speaking, I am long at that level. And we can see here shorts too. Shorts are looking to be kind of hedged a little bit more. These are some late shorts there at the 29,230 range. So again, kind of a tight margin there. Okay, so not a lot of movement so far at this level, which makes sense considering the overall sense of where we're at right now. But we are consolidating at the support level, and let's see if there's anything other than the back end data kind of showing and supporting that we're more long focused than short focused right now. Okay. Now again, when I say long focused, keep this in mind. I'm not saying longing to 32,000. I'm really just saying taking a long to maybe consider filling this fair value gap, for example, which would be averaged at itself roughly at about 29,600. Okay, so again, there's a gap there that needs to get filled. There's a good chance that it will, and there's also a decent chance we could see a dead cat where the price comes up, fakes us out, and comes back down. Keep in mind, tomorrow, FOMC, anything could happen. I do personally feel like the price is kind of baked in and we're not going to see a significant increase or decrease tomorrow. But once again, different different strategies, of course, when you play into that. So just try not to trade into it. We try to make sure we don't take trades going into it, but things can happen. You could have some older trades open that you just can't get out of just yet. All right. That being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the daily and work our way down. So on the daily here, we can recognize that we're below 50 on the RSI. So generally a bearish sentiment. We can see stochastic is trying to come back up essentially. It has been raked down twice, and as I mentioned previously, the second time the stochastics comes all the way down or all the way up, for example, and it starts to converge and shift momentum, there's a good chance the price is going to move along with it. Okay, so again, keep in mind, big picture here, there's a lot of other reasons why the price may not recover, but this is a good bullish sign in most cases to see that convergence. However, we do see money flow index being fairly low, and that's never a great sign. It tells us we have a little bit of weakness there in the price action. It may not increase unless the volume does it as well. Okay. Again, pay attention to volume. It's extremely important to recognize that. And if we can take a look here, we can see with our volume, it is still fairly low today while the day is still early. We don't have a tremendous amount of volume just yet, which makes sense. Folks got a little bit scared here with this most recent price drop. Taking a look at the 4 hour, we can go ahead and identify a few things here, of course. This is the kind of dip that I typically like to buy when the RSI is really low on the 4 hour time frame. That leads me to believe that we're going to see somewhat of a bounce. Again, it's never truly a significant bounce, but it is enough to notice. And again, stochastics also swinging upwards here, money flowing up a little bit as well. I think we're in decent shape here to see the price action at least try to fill that gap once again in this range here, about 29,600. Okay. So I think a good profit target would be 29.6, 29.5 if you were to consider a long position between now and then. Okay. So that's kind of my thoughts there. But again, MACD is starting to swing upwards. We don't have full-on convergence, but it's definitely moving towards that. And all in all, we're looking fairly positive on the 4 hour. Again, within reason, obviously. If we take a look at the moving averages, we're below all three. And once again, you take a look at that and you compare that with a fair value gap. Price action come up here, for example, rejects. That makes sense. Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get a rejection at 29.6. So again, my profit target is in the 29.5, 29.6 range for my long that I have open at the 29.150, 29.2 range. So just keep in mind, there's a lot of different strategies to take profit, but that to me seems like an appropriate area there. And hey, you could say that strategy doesn't work because in truth, we didn't get filled here at 30,500 like we originally wanted. Now we have to hold that position open. And that happens sometimes. But again, obviously, you want to work within your risk tolerance. If you're not willing to hold a trade open for that long, then make sure you have a tight stop loss and be okay with that loss. Kind of how it goes. Again, losses are normal in this environment. Try not to see one and get totally gun shy and scared. And it's just an opportunity to reevaluate and to learn from your potential mistakes. And sometimes those mistakes turn out to be the best things for you. Okay, so please recognize that there's a lot of growing pains in this dynamic, in this environment. And it's always going to be like I mentioned, dynamic and changing. You got to adjust and never stick to the same old thing. Obviously, the strategies that work you want to hold true to, but the market will always change and always make you second guess yourself. So make sure you you learn. All right. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about TD sequential and see really no consistency in patterns and numbers here. So no overextension or underextension, if you will. We're just kind of standard stuff here. We take a look at the Ichimoku cloud. We're still below the cloud, of course, and this kind of reiterates that 29,600 resistance. That's almost exactly right there at that fair value gap. So if we got the fair value gap in this range, the price will likely reject at 29.6. So keep in mind, if you're long up to here, be cautious holding much longer than 29.6. There is a potential short squeeze that could occur and the price would continue higher. We need to reevaluate if that happens a little later. But for now, pretty definitive, clear cut and dry that the resistance shelf is there at about 29.6. One thing that is positive here, if you have a short position open, for example, you probably want to have closed it or taken profits by now because this lagging span is intersecting with the price action. It tells us a lot about the fact that this momentum on this downtrend has discontinued. Okay. Keep in mind, when we have these large momentous pushes up or down, Ichimoku Cloud can give you some false positives, but the bottom line here is that the conversion lines above the baseline now, we've shifted that momentum from bearish to bullish. Again, tentatively bullish. Please do not buy into the thought process that we're going to the moon because we hit this potential bottom. Not even close. But when I say the word bullish, I'm really referring to shorter time frames here. We have a tentatively smaller potential for increase versus decrease. Okay. So again, is it foolproof 100%? No, but it's a slightly larger statistical probability we're going to see some upside to 29.6, potentially further in the immediate near future, followed by likely a retrace to that 28.4 range to fill that CME gap, or correction, not the CME gap, fair value gap. Very similar scenarios there as well. They work concurrent with the same mindset, right? They want to fill that gap because they have a ton of profit. And once again, whomever sold the market off right here has a lot of profit to be made on the way up. So they're going to sell at this level as a stronger likelihood. That's the reason why you have fair value gaps and as well as, CME gaps as well. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much where we're at here for Bitcoin. I wouldn't say it's phenomenally awesome, but it is slightly better to the upside than downside. Just a small little gap we probably want to see get filled. And then just keep in mind potential for downside after that. So I think that once we fill this gap, we will probably see this next Fibonacci retracement level at 0.5, a very common retracement area to get filled. And that will also fill our fair value gap as well. So again, if we take a look at the charts here, it's a great chance we will see this upside here, reject out here, and then again, somewhere pivot or bounce at this level. Okay, that would hold true to some Elliott wave too. Okay, so we got some different theories, some different thought processes here, but I don't really think, and I don't subscribe to the thought process that we're going to see 25,000 or lower. If so, I welcome it, and I hope I'm wrong because then I can add to my position at a much lower price point, and that to me is beneficial. But between here and there, we try to mitigate our loss and maximize our gain, and make sure you're trading with good risk tolerance. And those are all things I teach in my trading academy, so be sure to check it out. CryptoCash.tech is a website down below. Also, congrats to our Premium Plus members here. We took some decent profits last couple of days with our short trades that we had with our day trades. Unfortunately, our swing trades are still left to be profitable, but I believe in time we will be able to hit those targets. And I'm considering some potential positions here soon once the price stabilizes out a little bit further for obviously Bitcoin, Ethereum, and potentially Solana or Dogecoin. So stay tuned to that. We'll see what happens, of course. But in the meantime, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again so much for joining me here. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take good care.